Good morning. Now, hope everybody is okay. Now we switch over to the unit number 2. You know that we have been discussing modern grammar as such, and we studied some mechanism in grammar. Now we move on to the field of linguistics. And in the first unit, you might have studied the families of languages and everything, right? Now we have a separate unit that is called What is Linguistics? Unit number 2. What is linguistics? Traditional approaches of linguistics, modern linguistics, and branches of linguistics. From this unit, definitely you will get one essay topic. Generally, they ask what all the types of linguistics available, the schools of thoughts. So you should have a thorough knowledge, the background of linguistics. And let me ask you, what do you mean by linguistics? Have you got any idea of linguistics? Just like what is grammar, we have studied different schools of grammar, traditional grammar, structural grammar. Then we studied TG grammar, suprasentential grammar. All these we have come across. Now we try to study what is linguistics. And it is a very big subject to deal with. And we have to study or learn some areas of or prominent areas of linguistics. So definitely they will ask you what is linguistics. How do you answer? Linguistics is study of language. Example, what is the real meaning of study of language? One thing you have to keep in mind, it is a scientific study of language. Linguistics is a scientific study of language. Then normally people ask what is the meaning of scientific study? Then what is the meaning of science? What is science? How do you define science? You know, science can be defined or cannot be defined without a weird system. That is why people say science is systematic study of knowledge. Science is systematic study of knowledge. So we people say linguistics is scientific study of language. Means what? We should study language in a systematic way. So you can keep, I try to give you points on the board that you copy down. It will help you. With these points you go through your textbook, then prepare notes. Okay. So what is linguistics? Linguistics is scientific study of language. Scientific study of language. It is often compared to phonology. That is also language study. What is meant by phonology or what is meant by phonetics? Phonetics is study of sound system of language. Sound system. Only that area concerned sound system. Am I right? Then phonology means what? Study of sound system of a particular language. Suppose you study a language of, a system, sound system of Malayalam or sound system of English. You can refer phonology of English or phonology of Malayalam. But phonetics is in general concept. In the same way, linguistics is scientific study of language. It means there should be a systematic approach. So Point number 1 you copy down. It is scientific study. Scientific study of language. Scientific study of language. So what is linguistics? Further today onwards, anybody asking, you should say it is scientific study of language. Scientific study of language. And why is it called scientific? Because it is systematic. As in the case of a system follows in science, we call scientific study of language. Scientific method of study means systematic study of method. So it is scientific because it is systematic. All these are the points. It is meant by systematic. If there is a system, we can easily tell that it is scientific. All the machinery things that you take, all the electronic things that you take, everything is based on a system. And besides, so what is to say more? We studied modern grammar is systematic. There is referred language is system of systems. They are referred. You remember that. So it has a modern approach. We have so many people in the world that they know several languages. So it is not related to a particular language. Languages in general. Languages. As many 3,000 to 4,000 languages available in the world. So related to all the languages, we study a scientific study that is called linguistics. Not a particular language scientific study. So people who have people who know lot of languages, what do you call polyglots? We have polyglots. What is meant by polyglots? Polyglots. All these technical terms you have to remember. Polyglots means what? One who knows many languages. So people, at least we are concerned, we study 3 languages, right? You study Hindi, you study Malayalam, you study English. So you may be called a polyglotist. In the same way, people who are there, more than 15 to 20 languages they study. Such people are there. So they can easily compare what is called linguistics and how they are related to different languages. So a linguist, what is meant by linguist? One who studies a language systematically in all the fields, called linguist. Or who does so many researches in linguistics. They have a lot of, they learn languages. They learn different languages. But you know, that is systematically related to its mechanism. So what I try to say, once you study, I will explain in a different way that in modern grammar time I taught you, in the same case, a driver need not be a mechanic, but mechanic always will be a driver. I referred in the earlier. So for example, I have a car and I never opened its bonnet so far. Because I know driving, which all the necessary things needed for comfortable driving, that I know. For example, steering. My car has this very smooth tuning and the petrol is sufficient and I know all the signals how to drive. But if it stops abruptly in a damaged situation, being a driver, I have nothing to do. But I should contact a mechanic. Means what? Mechanic side of the vehicle is not familiar to me. But all the rules of driving, which may be known to me, like a linguist, may know certain rules, but may not know the mechanism. So one who knows the mechanism come the rules, he may be called a real linguist. So what I try to say, once you learn a language or many languages, you should be aware of its mechanism. So mechanism is comparable to the mechanism of a motor car, because where the clutch is kept there, where the engine is striving, all these things are kept inside. But a driver who is driving comfortably may not be in a position to know it. So a mechanic who is driving the car will know everything. That is a different part of the story. So once you try to study a second language, you should be in a position to go behind the mechanism of the language. Are you okay? So this is called scientific approach, or this is called modern mechanical approach. So approaching a language in a mechanical way is much concerned in the way of language study. So scientific study of language, study the mechanism of language. Because a speaker who knows a language may know only some words, may only know some constructions, but may not be in a position to comprehend what is the mechanism of that language. So linguistics as a word, you should keep in mind, it is scientific method, scientific approach, scientific study of language in general. It should be scientifically dealt with, means systematically approached with, means all the people who study all the areas of language in general concerned with linguistics. So many linguists are available. The textbook itself, page number 11 given, that you go through. Famous linguist is John Lyons. Alright, John Lyons. He has brought so many areas of linguistics in detail. And his book, The Linguistics, that once you get, you read. He has published in a different style. Alright, he has given 3 basic conditions. You know, linguistics now, what we are studying is based on more theoretical. More theories we have to study. So once I explain all these terms, you copy down. So John Lyons is the real modern linguist who does many works in linguistics. And he has given 3 important conditions to qualify to be scientific approach. Means what a linguist should be, what a linguist should do, what you should follow. So once a linguistics to be scientific, these 3 important pillar stones to be kept in mind. What are they? So John Lyons gives 3 important pillar stones. One is called explicitness. You copy down explicitness. Alright, explicitness is the one beautiful pillar, and second one systematic. Alright, systematic. Alright, systematicness or systematicity. Or third one is objectivity. Alright. So John Lyons, as a very great linguist, has given 3 important pillars to approach scientific study of language. Are you okay? So study these 3 areas. One is the language area should be explicit, and it should have a system, and it should be objectivity oriented. How we explain? In traditional grammar, all right, in traditional grammar, we have no explicitness. No explicitness. In traditional grammar, we don't find any explicitness. Means what? Many areas are kept untouched. We have seen so many things. Example, noun. The definition of noun. What we have studied. Noun is the name of a person, name of a place, name of a thing. Animal was not included. All right. The word beauty. Example. The word beauty. All right. It is not a place. It is not a person. It is not a thing. But it is a noun. All right. In traditional grammar, it is a noun. So, this type of explicitness we don't find explicitness. We don't find explicitness. So, beauty was a word considered to be very authentic and systematic approach needed. So, the traditional grammar not explicit. For example, then what is called systematic approach. Systematic approach means comparing two languages based on their relations. Systematic language. So there should be comparing two languages. It should have systematic approach that you keep in mind. Comparing two languages based on their relations. Suppose we can easily compare Malayalam to Tamil or Tamil to Kannada. Once you relate these areas, all right, then systematic approach that we have to keep in mind. So then systematic approach, systematic comparison, all right, that you have to keep in mind. Then next one is objectivity. Objectivity. How do you say objectivity? First point you keep in mind, objectivity means open-ended. What is meant by open-ended? It is welcoming all the areas of confusions. Wherever probable, wherever things are concerned, all these areas it can acquire. And sufficient evidences we can prepare. For example, some mechanical terms, somewhat technical terms that we put forward, which may not be easily understood. I remember once I taught you vocabulary. People are there sufficiently telling some extraordinary phrases and extraordinary words, which may not be all of a sudden belong to our active vocabulary. They belong to passive vocabulary, which we come across, but we do not really understand the meaning, right? So this objectivity is constant. Example, suo moto, I explain, sign die. Example, sign, all right, sign die. This is a technical phrase and a foreign phrase which has been adopted in our English. Sign die means indefinitely, which has no objectivity. Such area called what is called process of meta language. We call process of meta language that we study. What I tell you, linguistics is, what is meant by linguistics? Linguistics is scientific study of language. It is scientific because it has a systematic approach. It has a systematic approach means without a system, nobody can explain it. So, what you define, those so many definitions available for what is linguistics, you keep in mind, linguistics is a scientific study of language in general. All right, different from phonology, different from phonetics, but language is the theory that you keep in mind. What is linguistics? Give this definition. It is a scientific study of language. And why scientific? A system needed. Because what is meant by science? Science is systematic study of knowledge. So what is system? Without a system there is no science. So here we approach it systematically, then we'll get an area of linguistics, and it has three important pillars which are called, it should have a systematic pillar. Then we have polyglot. So John Lyons, who has given three important pillars. One, linguistics should have explicitness. In traditional grammar, no explicitness we find, no clarity we find. Many problems were there. It's like relevance of noun as a definition, and tense as three tenses, and what is called sentence, definition of sentence. All these had lacked what is called explicitness. But this lack of explicitness have been corrected by modern linguists in the world. So these three, systematic, objectivity, everything that we concern and we reach. Traditional grammar based, because traditional grammar basically based on Latin rules. Alright, traditional grammar based on Latin rules, language Latin rules that you have studied. How Latin language came to be there into position to influence English language, that you studied in the families of language, some areas that I will explain here. But modern linguists try to liberate it. What does it mean? Modern linguists, modern grammarians, they tried to liberate English language from Latin bondage. Latin language and their grammatical rules often directly applied in English language. That could have been analyzed and reanalyzed by linguists, and we changed so many rules. So here to approach language linguistic study, we need some important areas of history of language. What is called history of language that we try to study. What is called history of language? So here traditional grammar was based on English language. Traditional grammar can be traced back to Greek scholars, 15th century BC. Earlier, first study, Greek, 15th century BC. Greek language was Greek language, 5th century BC. Greek language was more influenced in English language. Later Latin found. So it was the connection, close connection between English language related to Greek language, and they were intermingled. So because grammar, really the language was related to the part of philosophy during the time. They asked language governed by the nature and the conventions. So why English was much influenced by Greek? Because during 5th BC, Greek language was prominent everywhere. So English has been much influenced by Greek writers, especially philosophers. All these philosophers, that they made a certain nature of conventions and rules. One group of philosophers, they believed, one group. So many groups of philosophers there. First group, one group, you just tell one group, they believed language is originated according to the certain natural laws. So one group give importance to natural laws. Natural laws. It was not really created man. It was not really created by man, because it was naturally influenced. Some group. So that you might have studied in the families of language, which belongs to the unit number 1. That you make a thorough study on family of languages, where so many difference of disputes, where there were so many disagreements which prevailed among the people who really understood the relevance of language. They believed, one group believed, it was not man created. It was generally, it was a result of the natural phenomenon. Languages originated according to certain natural laws. Second group believed. Second group believed language is conventional matter. One is, on the one hand, language is not created by man, it was naturally invented. Some people believe, one group believe it was based on natural laws. But some people, another group believed that it was man-made, man-created, and man was the founder of language. That you will study in the unit number 1. One Greek scholar, you copy down all these points. All right. These points will help you to prepare a big essay topic. One scholar, Critylus. All right. Critylus. 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 All right. Critylus, a Greek scholar. So in the Greek philosophy, we have two groups. One group based on natural laws, one group based on man-made creation. These were under disputes. So Critylus, a Greek scholar, said, all words have natural connection. So he believed all words have natural connection. All right, natural connection. This is the point. Critylus, Greek scholar, philosopher, said all these have natural connection with the objects they stand for. Suppose one object that you refer, that object has a connection to a particular word. Names are appreciated to the object. This is based on etymology. So he believed the theory of etymology. That you keep down. What is meant by etymology? Etymology means a particular object is known by its appearance, physical appearance, or by its quality, we call its name. So it is etymo. Etymo means reality. Etymo means reality. In the same way, Critylus believed in onomatopoeic words, that you might have studied onomatopoeic words. So many words are available. What is meant by onomatopoeic? All these technical terms are coming there. You refer to figure of speeches, the words. So many words are there that you copy down. All right. Onomatopoeic words means an object or a being that is known by its sound. Onomatopoeic, beautiful symbol example is the bird cuckoo. The bird cuckoo will make a cuckoo sound. So the bird is known by cuckoo. So that is onomatopoeic. All right. Then crash. The word itself is crash. Means everything falling down and broken. That word is called crash. All right. C-R-A-S-H. So according to Critylus, a particular word you make a scientific study, then you will get the meaning. It is related to the real object. Like onomatopoeic words will be there, other words will be there, but they have somewhat a relation. Example, bleat. All right, related to sheep. Bleat, related to sheep. So a sound. So once you make a detailed study, you will get a picture that this particular word relates to this particular object. So that is the discovery of Critylus, a Greek philosopher. So sound symbolism is important. Some people say there is a regularity in all the accepts. All right. There are two other groups. One group is called Analogist. That is given in the textbook. Analogist. A-N-O. Analogist. Who is this analogist? Analogist is group. Analogist. There is a regularity in all aspects of language. Once you compare, all right, a certain particular word that you take and compare to some other words, you will get real relation between these words. Some people say an irregular nature in the language. So they are called anomalists. So analogists find comparison in all the areas of different languages. Another people called anomalist. Anomalist find, this group of people find, there are so many irregularities. One group analogists, they find regular comparisons. On the other hand, some other people find analogist. 3rd century BC, Greek language was considered to be the base, and they gave importance to written language. The basic theory that you keep in mind, once you make a study in English language, starting from the point of view that Greek language was the basis of English language, they say. And during the 3rd century BC, Greek, example, during the time of Alexander the Great, Greek studied Homeric works. They studied classical works of Homeric. They gave importance to written language. All right. So the word grammar, even the grammar as a word, it is written. What is the meaning of grammar? Grammar is art of writing. What is meant by grammar? Grammar is art of writing. So this art of writing was based on Greek language. In 5th century language, Attic writers was the correct form. Words like, you can say words like, you can copy down words like noun, words like verb, words like adjective, words like, all these contributions, preposition. So noun, verb, adjective, 3 important word forms are contributions of Plato and Aristotle. Look here, they are words, they are noun, verb, adjectives contributed by Plato. Other Greek scholars, Dionysius, another technical philosopher, Dionysius, he brought adverb, pronoun, preposition to our language. So words like case, number system, gender system, tense system, voice system, mood system, all these are the areas that they took into our language by the influence of Greek language. So what I tried in this hour to discuss with him, what is linguistics and how this linguistics can be approached, what is its background, how this term linguistics can be defined, what are the 3 important pillars that maintained by John Lyons to explain what is meant by linguistics. These were the constant things. How English language as such was influenced by Greek language and Latin language. You make a thorough reading with the page number 11 to 13 in your textbook, then make a brief notes on that. Till finding next class, thank you very much.